This course covers the fundamentals of the domain name system and its importance. It highlights the benefits of using Azure DNS, Anycasting and DNS, and its impact on performance and the user-friendly interface of the Azure Portal for DNS management. This lesson emphasizes the role of DNS in enabling easy access to online resources, Azure DNS's service for DNS domains, and its seamless integration with other Azure services. It explains how Anycasting improves performance and resilience by minimizing latency and sharing the load across multiple servers. Additionally, it underscores how Azure DNS's integration with the Azure Portal and its support for various management tools and automation options make it a powerful and convenient DNS management solution. Domain name system. Our learning objectives today are the domain name system overview, benefits of Azure DNS, DNS reliability and performance, how to speed up Anycasting with DNS. Domain name system is easy to use in the Azure portal. So DNS. DNS stands for Domain Name System, and it serves as a decentralized system that translates domain names, example, www.cyberchristy.com, into an IP address, example, 12.345.67.89, that computers use to identify each other on the network. This translation is necessary because while humans find it easier to remember domain names, such as google.com, computers and other networking devices communicate through IP addresses. Describe Azure DNS. Azure DNS is a hosting service for DNS domains that provides name resolution by using Microsoft's Azure infrastructure. By hosting your domains in Azure, you can manage your DNS records using the same credentials, APIs, tools, and billing as your other services. Benefits of Azure DNS. Azure DNS leverages the scope and scale of Microsoft Azure to provide numerous benefits, including reliability and performance, security, ease of use, customizable virtual networks, Alias Record, and it's a platform as a service. It also falls into the cloud service type, platform as a service. The reason is Azure DNS handles DNS hosting and resolution without requiring you to manage your underlying infrastructure. DNS domains in Azure DNS are hosted on Azure's global network of DNS name servers, providing resiliency and high availability. Azure DNS uses Anycast networking. The closest DNS server answers each DNS query to provide fast performance and high availability for your domain. Anycast in DNS is a technique that routes network traffic to the nearest or best performing server from a group of servers with the same IP address. This method improves the performance and resilience of DNS services by reducing latency and sharing the load across multiple servers. Anycast enhances reliability by redirecting traffic to the next best server in the Anycast group. If one becomes unavailable, Anycasting can only use IPv6. Like any other DNS domain name system, Azure Domain Name System translates domain names like www.example.com into IP addresses that computers can understand. Anycasting is a technique used by Azure DNS and other DNS services to make the translation process more efficient. When Azure DNS uses Anycasting, it assigns multiple identical network addresses to different physical network interfaces in different places worldwide. These network interfaces, or servers, are strategically placed in various data centers. Now imagine you're a user trying to access a website. You type in the domain name in your web browser, and your computer requests Azure DNS to translate that domain name to an IP address. Azure DNS is based on Azure Resource Manager, which provides features such as Azure Role-Based Access Control, Azure RBAC, to control who has access to specific actions for your organization. Activity logs to monitor how a user in your organization modified a resource or to find an error when troubleshooting. Resource locking is to lock a subscription, resource group, or resource. Locking prevents other users in your organization from accidentally deleting or modifying critical resources, which is very important. Locking prevents users in your organization from accidentally deleting or modifying critical resources. In the past, I've had systems where somebody deleted something that took down the entire system. So using locks is super important to ensure the availability of your system and to stop you from having to rebuild everything. Azure DNS can manage DNS records for your Azure services and provide DNS for your external resources. Azure DNS is integrated into Azure Portal and uses the same credentials, support contract, and billing as your other services. Because Azure DNS runs on Azure, it means you can manage your domains and records with Azure Portal. Azure PowerShell commandlets and the cross-platform Azure CLI, applications requiring automated DNS management, can integrate with the service using the REST API and SDKs. Azure DNS also supports private DNS domains. This feature allows you to use your own custom domain names in your private virtual network, rather than being stuck with the Azure-provided names. Azure DNS also supports alias record sets. You can use an alias record set to refer to an Azure resource, such as an Azure Public IP address, an Azure Traffic Manager profile, or an Azure Content Delivery Network, CDN for short, endpoint. If the IP address of the underlying resource changes, the alias record set seamlessly updates itself during DNS resolution. The alias record set points to the service instance, and the service instance is associated with an IP address. If you're following along with the Microsoft Learn path, sign into Microsoft Learn and get experience points as you complete the knowledge check. In this module, you learned about domain name system, and I'd like to thank you for watching.